Hi guys, I'm back with a new video and it's a tutorial on this look right here. This summer I've been attending a lot of different Indian weddings, parties, and engagements, and I really wanted to share this look with you all because I absolutely love the way it reflects the principles of Indian fashion with its beautiful details and bright, unexpected colors. I was very much inspired to work with pink eyeshadow because pink is such a beautiful color and I wanted to find a way to use my favorite color on my eyes without making it look like I have an eye infection. The part that I love about this look is that I used multiple shades of pink and purple to give tons of dimension to the eye. The technique that I show you in this tutorial can be applied to any bright color that you want to experiment with. So without further ado, let me teach you how to achieve this look right here. So the first thing that I'm doing right now is priming my eyes, and I'm just applying my Urban Decay Naked Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, ha, nailed it, all over my lids, and then I will go in with a damp beauty blender just to blend all of that out. This is my favorite way to prime for eyeshadow because if you have any discoloration or veins in your eyelids that you're insecure about or you want to cover up, this will do the trick because the concealer will go over it and mute out any discrepancies so that your eyeshadow will look a lot smoother when blended. Now I'm just applying my MAC Studio Sculpt Defining Powder in the shade Light Plus to set my base so that any shadows don't cling to it. This is a pretty important step because if you don't do this step, your eyeshadow when you first go in will definitely cling to that base and it'll be very difficult to blend out. The first shade that I'm using is a Morphe eyeshadow and it is in the color ES13. I am so incredibly sorry I did not film like any product shots, but on my website I will be posting every single individual color that I used along with its name and a link to the Morphe website. I'm just using a clean brush right now to blend out my crease color, the ES13 from Morphe. And now I'm going to go in with a more peachy eyeshadow, and it is in the color ES66. It's a very orangey peachy color. It's rather bright, which is why I'm applying it as a transition shade, because I think that when this color lays underneath a pink eyeshadow, it just makes the pink look so much more vibrant and warm. So all I'm doing is I'm applying this very loosely to my crease, and I'm kind of bringing it up to my upper crease, if that makes sense, because I really want this warm peachy eyeshadow to peek out from underneath the pink. And the brush that I'm using right now is a Real Techniques shading brush, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'm really sorry, but all of the makeup products and brushes that I use in this video will be listed on my website, and there will be a link in the info box. Now I'm taking the color ES68, which is more of a pink and less of a peach. The first color that we used is more of an orange base, and this is more of a hot pink. And I'm pressing this very tightly into my crease. I don't want to get this onto my lid, but truthfully, if you get this on your lid, it doesn't matter because we're going in with a more pigmented eyeshadow later to completely cover up the lid. But I'm just applying this ES68 into my crease, and then I'm also going to blend that out with a clean, fluffy blending brush. I have no idea where this is from. I've had it for years, but I really like it, so I continue to use it. Now I'm going in with the color ES59, which is just a more dark purpley version of the ES68 that we just used in the crease. And you'll see me tightly put it in my crease and then start to blend it outward. I don't really advise taking this color too high because that's when it starts to look a little silly, is when you have too much bright eyeshadow very close to your eyebrow. When you blend things, it tends to move it up. The most essential part to creating a very blown out smoky eye with bright colors is definitely the blending process and creating lots of dimension. So now I'm taking the color ES71, which is a purpley brown, and I'm pressing that into my crease right underneath the pink color that we put down. If you get too messy with this color, you can go back in with your transition shade to lighten things up. But putting this color in our crease will define our crease even more so that when we go in with our lid color, it adds tons and tons of dimension to the eye. Now I'm using the color ES24, which is like a true warm chocolate brown, and I'm using a very small shader brush to push this into my crease. I am not going to flick this upward too heavily, I'm just going to put it in my crease. And then I'll go back in with the same brush that I used to apply my pink eyeshadows and kind of softly diffuse any harsh lines from that brown shade into my crease. You see, I don't take it too high because then when it starts to meet the eyebrows, that's when it can look a little too messy. But if you get too messy, the great part is that you can fix it with a little eye makeup remover. I'm going back in with the color ES66 just to bring back that warm orangey peachy color. Now I'm using a Makeup Forever Artist Shadow in the shade ME512. This is a really beautiful like white gold, and it is metallic since it is ME, and I absolutely love using this shadow all over my lid. It's such a beautiful highlight shade with tons of metallic reflection in it. What I did do is I did wet my flat shader brush from Walmart, I'm pretty sure. I did wet that brush with some eye drops just to make the shadows even more intensely pigmented and metallic. This step is pretty straightforward. I find that pressing the eyeshadow in makes it even more intense, and then I will kind of drag it along my crease to create a sharp line, which I will of course later blend out, but for now I really do want to create a very harsh line. Now, once my eyeshadow is dry, and yes, there was time in between that, I just didn't film that dead time because I was probably singing along to some Hindi songs. I am using the same very small crease brush with the color ES24, which is the dark chocolate shade, and I'm just kind of buffing out any harsh edges that I created with my metallic eyeshadow. You can choose to leave the cut crease very cut, but I prefer not to. Now, to take a break from the eyeshadow, I'm going to show you guys a video of me dancing. I hope you guys enjoy that little clip of me dancing. That is what I was doing last weekend and why I could not film last weekend. I am so sorry for missing an uploading opportunity. So getting back to the video, all I'm doing right now is I'm taking a Q-tip dipped in some makeup remover, and I'm just cleaning up any edges where I think I got a little too messy with my eyeshadow. This is a super quick foolproof step. If you already applied your foundation, you can just use some foundation or concealer. Now I'm going to prime my face using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Primer, and this is the Smoothing Primer. And all I'm doing is I'm just pressing it into my T-zone, forehead, and then I will take whatever is left on my fingers and just brush it on the rest of my face. Now I'm going to spray my Real Techniques buffing brush with my Mario Badescu Rosewater Spray. Any rosewater spray will do that doesn't contain alcohol. Also, I would be careful because some people are sensitive to rose-based products, so exercise caution when applying a rose toner or spray. I am using the Makeup Forever HD foundation, not the new formulation. This is the original formulation, and I use the color 153, I believe. Golden Honey, something like that. All I'm doing is I'm just blending this into my skin. You can see that it does not exactly match my face, but it does match my neck and my shoulders, which is important for an outfit like this, because if your face is starkly white compared to your body, it can look a little strange and mask-like, and it won't photograph very well. So I recommend always matching your foundation to your neck and your jawline, because that will give you the most natural appearance. I'm going to blend this down onto my neck just to make the transition from face to neck a little more smooth, because again, this doesn't exactly match my skin because it matches more when I'm perfectly tan, but tan is fading. Now I'm going to conceal my under eyes very heavily because I have not been getting a lot of sleep lately, and it's my fault completely. Actually, it's not. I'm just very busy. I'm a busy woman. I am using the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, and then I will go on top with my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer because I feel like this acts as a highlight. And then I'm just going to blend everything in once again with my damp Beauty Blender. Like I said earlier, if you had already applied foundation, you can use a concealer to sharpen up your wing or to clean up any messy eyeshadow, which I did. I'm just blending everything in with my Beauty Blender, making sure that there are no strange splotches, and I will also highlight certain areas of my face, like the Cupid's bow, bridge of my nose, and then also I will draw a plant-like thing on my forehead, just to add a small highlight. Now I'm going to set all the areas that I highlight, especially my under eyes, with my MAC Studio Sculpt Defining Powder in the shade Light Plus. I'm using a Real Techniques setting brush to do this, and all I'm doing is I'm just dusting this on. And then this is a trick that I learned very recently. You can use a concealer a shade lighter or two than your skin, and you can go underneath where your contour would be just to sharpen that up. And as you can see, it creates like a pseudo contour, because technically I was not contouring. This is just highlighting, and people are calling this technique strobing, which I think is kind of silly because everyone knows how to highlight. We've been highlighting for years and years and years, but I'm strobing right now. This is just a really nice tip. If you have nice cheekbones that you already like, you can do this tip and just skip the bronzer. But I feel like I need bronzer, so I'm going to go in with the Balm Cosmetics Bahama Mama bronzer. I talked about this bronzer in my June favorites video, so I will leave a link for that down below. This is just a great cool tone bronzer that really mimics the appearance of a shadow falling onto your face when it is cast by a cheekbone. It also functions as a bronzer itself, so I am also applying that onto my forehead and temples, and I will also use that to contour my jawline. I really like contouring my jawline because I do enjoy my jawline, so I just like enhancing it a little bit, giving it a little extra boost. I do feel like contouring is an extremely personal choice, so if you see me contouring my cheekbones and you're like, whoa, I would never do that, then it's completely fine for you not to do that. For example, I contour my cheekbones because I do like the way my natural cheekbones look. I just like bringing them out even more with a contour. And also, I don't contour my nose because I'm happy with my nose and I feel like it's not necessary to contour. So you can see contouring, super personal, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Now to bring a little bit of color back to my face because this was a very cool tone bronzer. Oh, that's what I'm doing right now. What I did right there is I used a clean stippling brush and I just brushed away any bronzer that fell onto the underside of my contour just to sharpen it up. Now I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion in the shade 30M. I talked about this in my June favorites, of course, because this bronzer is thebomb.com. It's so natural looking and warm on my skin. It just brings the perfect amount of sun-kissed glow to my skin, and I absolutely love to use it, again, on top of a contour like this, or even just on my completely bare skin, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to use a Sephora Collection blush in the shade Healthy Rose. This is just a very pretty pink to dust on the apples of my cheeks and drag backwards using a ginormous blush brush from Real Techniques. This color is really pretty laid on top of a warm bronzer, which is exactly what I'm doing here. Blending blush is pretty tricky sometimes, but these Sephora blushes are very easy to blend and I totally recommend them to beginners. Now to highlight, I'm using the Balm Cosmetics Merry Luminizer, which I can best describe as a white gold. It's not quite vanilla, but it does have a little bit of gold in it, which makes it really pretty for a look like this where I don't want to go too golden bronzy to overpower the eyes. I just want something nice and neutral. I'm just dusting this on the tops of my cheekbones. And I will also take this and put it on my Cupid's bow and on the tip of my nose. The reason why it's important to highlight these areas is because when you bronze, it can tend to look a little muddy, but when you bring your highlight in, it really just brings your face to life. It brings so much more dimension and glow, and you know I am all about that glow life. What I'm doing right here is I'm applying that same highlighter under my eyebrow arch and then also as an inner corner highlight. Here I'm just very thinly applying a small stripe of highlight and then blending it out with my fingers on the bridge of my nose just to bring a little bit of dimension back into my face after I bronzed. Now I'm going to do my eyebrows, and I haven't done my eyebrows in a month, so they're looking a little messy, so I felt it was necessary to go in with a black eyebrow pencil and just fill in the bottoms just to define them a little more. Now I'm going to do my liquid eyeliner. This is the L'Oreal liquid eyeliner. I will have a link to it. I don't remember exactly what it's called because I know they make a few of them, but this is my favorite one that they make, but I'm not super happy with it. So if you have any drugstore black eyeliner recommendations, please let me know because I am on the hunt. I purposely did not edit this video clip because I want you to see how I create my wing. There's really nothing to it. I've been doing winged eyeliner my entire life because I am a Bharatanatyam dancer, so winged eyeliner is pretty intuitive to me. I don't really know how to explain it. If you'd like to see like an in-depth liquid eyeliner tutorial, then you know just to ask and I'll do that. What I'm doing right now is I'm very, very precisely lining my upper lash line. Now I'm going to finish off our eyeshadow look by doing my bottom lash line, and I'm taking a color, I don't know what color I used, but I'm gonna write about it on my website, you should check that out. I'm just using a small tiny precision brush, and I'm just gonna run this on my lower lash line to make my eyes look a little darker down there. Then I will take a pencil brush from Urban Decay and use that warm purpley, no, this was the paint color. I used a paint color to smoke out my lower lash line. And all I'm doing is I'm just running it over that brown that I laid down. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just doing it to kind of buff it outward and make it look a little more blown out and smoky. I know it's confusing because you think you'll look like a panda bear, but if you really just blend, you really won't. It'll look a lot more seamless and intentional. I am tightlining my lower waterline right now with a Mary Kay pencil eyeliner, and you can see the difference that this pencil eyeliner makes. You can see my eye on that side is a little more blown out and the other eye is a lot more intense. So if you want to keep this look softer, you don't have to use a pencil on your waterline, but if you really want to go the extra mile, you can totally line your bottom waterline with a dark color like a black or a dark purple. Now I'm just going to give my lashes a quick coat of mascara. I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I've recently fallen in love with this mascara. I feel like it does so much for my eyelashes. And I'm just going to coat my top lashes and apply a heavy, generous layer to my bottom lashes. Because with a look like this, I really love making my lower lash line very, very intense. I know it sounds so counterintuitive, but if you make your lower lash line very intense and smoke it out, it actually makes your eyes look ginormous. It's very strange, I know, but just trust me on this. You'll see exactly what I mean. Now I'm going to go in with Hydrangea Beauty lashes in the style Luna. These are my absolute favorite lashes at the moment. They are so incredibly dramatic, as you can see. They're so unique though. They give a very unique, wispy, dramatic, doll-eyed effect to the eye. And very exciting news, I do have a promo code with Hydrangea Beauty. You can use the code KAYA10, KAYA10, to get 10% off your entire order, which is awesome because these mink lashes are already so inexpensive and it's super nice of the company to add on even more savings. I'm just popping these lashes on using my Duo Lash Adhesive. This is the brush-on kind. It comes in a green packaging and it says it has vitamins, even though the vitamins don't really mean anything. It's just a marketing ploy, but anyway, it's the best eyelash glue I've used so far. It's very forgivable if you get it on your eyelids. It just wipes away very quickly. The way I like to apply my eyelashes is I will use my fingers to just drop my lashes onto my eyelid, and then I will go in with tweezers and kind of gently fine-tune where I want to put my lashes. And the great thing about using a brush-on adhesive is that if, for example, the inner corner of your eyelash pops off, you can just peel it off a little more and just go in with your little tiny brush, just brush a little on, wait for it to get tacky and dry, and then you can just push it right into your inner corner and it'll stick on just fine. There's no need to take off your lash again and put on more glue and then try and do your lash again. And it's very frustrating, but I love the Duo Lash Adhesive. It's very simple to use. And so just to make sure my lashes are on, I like to press them into my lash line and then pinch them together with my fingers just so that my natural lashes blend in with them a little more. And as you can see, they are just incredible. I think that's what I said in the video right there. Now I'm going to finish off by doing my lips, and I'm going to use two lip products. The first one that I'm going to use is the Too Faced Melted Chihuahua. That sounds so wrong. Melted Chihuahua liquid lipstick, liquefied lipstick. It's a liquefied lipstick. It's not a liquid lipstick. It's a liquefied lipstick. This is such a pretty dusty rose color. I absolutely love this color for every day, for dramatic looks. It's one of my ride or dies. I will be very honest with you though, I am not the biggest fan of this formula just because I find it very drying and then it kind of settles into my fine lines on my lips and leaves that gross inner rim that we all hate. But I'm obsessed with the color, so it's a keeper. Now to contour, I guess, my lower lip, I'm just going to take some of that cool toned bronzer and a very tiny concealer brush and just put some on the very edge of my bottom lip just to make it look a little more fuller and a little poutier. Now I'm going to go over top of that lipstick with the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the color Vintage. The Too Faced Melted Chihuahua and ABH Vintage are absolutely perfect together. The vintage just makes it look so much more glossy, but still without losing that beautiful dusty rose color. Now to lock in everything, I'm just going to spray my face with some Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray, and we are done with this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this look. This is a super fun tutorial for me to film. Oh, wait, I forgot something. Because this is an Indian wedding reception look, it is appropriate to wear a bindi. So I just popped on a chamlo really quickly, and now we are officially done. If you guys enjoyed this video or want to see more Indian-inspired looks or dramatic looks, please give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section down below. I love reading your guys' comments. It makes my day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.
It was what long sari? Oh, it's here. I think it's the blue one.
No, use the biggest side.
I want to use the little side.
The biggest.
I'll do it later.
Please or now?
No, not now.
Please.
In 10 minutes, come back. Okay?
Why that is on your eyes?
Because I like it.
Why?
Because it's pretty. Do you think it looks pretty? She's like, no, it does not.
Is the camera on?
Yeah? Sorry. Sorry, Ma.